Is the reach on your Facebook post dropping off a cliff? Nobody's seeing your content anymore, no one's engaging, and maybe you're left wondering if you've been shadow banned. Here's an example. This person's saying, am I shadow banned on Facebook? Is that even a thing? I want to know how many people see my posts. Maybe you feel like that, like no one's seeing your content no matter how good your content is. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know 100% for sure whether or not you're shadow banned. And if you are, you'll know exactly what to do to get that ban lifted so that people start seeing your content and start engaging with you on Facebook again. Let's dive in. When you put a lot of effort into creating content for Facebook, it can feel pretty demoralizing when you post something and no one seems to care. You don't get any likes, you don't get any comments. Maybe you start feeling a little bit like this. This person says, shadow banned again. I'm really gonna get to the point where y'all don't even see me log in here. What's the point? And maybe you feel like that. What's the point of creating content if nobody's seeing your content and no one's engaging with you? Well, maybe you are shadow banned, or maybe there's another problem. Let's figure it out. First, I want to start by clearing up some misconceptions about being shadow banned on Facebook. This is not what a shadow ban is. You can see here in this article, it says, what does shadow banned mean on Facebook? And it starts out by saying, this is when Facebook limits the reach of your post without you knowing. This is the key piece, without you knowing. This is completely false, but it's a very common misconception. Here's another article that says when you're shadow banned, you won't get a notification or any warning. It just happens. Well, we know this isn't true because Meta tells us exactly what a shadow ban is. Over here, I asked Meta, what is a shadow ban on Facebook? And it specifically said accounts that don't follow our community standards or terms of use may be suspended or restricted. If your account was suspended or restricted, listen to this. This is the important piece. You'll be informed about it in an email and when you access your Facebook account in an app or in a web browser. We will also let you know whether you can appeal the suspension if you believe we made a mistake. After logging in, follow the on-screen instructions. We'll talk about those on-screen instructions in just a minute to submit your appeal. And what's the source of this? How do I know this is accurate? When we take a look at the source, it's directly from Facebook's Transparency Center. So we know that shadow bans aren't mysterious. Facebook's not going to just ban your content and not tell you. Facebook wants you to enjoy your Facebook experience while using the platform. Therefore, it will communicate if your account is experiencing a restriction. Well, the next question is, are you actually shadow banned right now? Maybe you didn't get an email or maybe you didn't get a notification when you logged into Facebook. How do you know if you are shadow banned? Here's what not to do. This Facebook user says, in the past week, everything I posted hasn't got any engagement as if no one's seeing my post. So the thing not to do is to look at a very small sample size and think, well, for the last week or 2 weeks, my engagement seems to have dropped off a cliff. Therefore, I must be shadow banned. That's not true at all. There's many factors that contribute to why or why not specific posts might get a lot of engagement or very little engagement. Instead, if you want to identify if you've got some sort of restriction on your account, like a shadow ban, think much more long-term. I'll show you how I do it. I'm gonna go over here inside my professional dashboard and I'll show you how I got here just in case you've never been inside. Go to your personal profile. So I'm gonna click on Dave Smith right here. And then if you've got professional mode turned on, you'll see this button right here. It says professional dashboard. Click that button. And then you want to go down here to the content tab. And from the content tab, here's how we're going to identify if something drastic has actually happened to the reach of your content. The first thing you're going to do is go over here and make sure this time filter is set to the longest period possible, which is 90 days. So click on 90 days if it wasn't already pre-selected at 90 days. And then we want to sort by not date, we want to sort by reach. This shows how many people, unique people, were reached with your posts. And because we sorted by reach, that means that the posts of yours on your personal profile that received the most reach, that were seen by the most number of people, those are going to go at the top. And here's why this is really useful. If you think you've been shadow banned, then your posts with the most reach, none of them are going to be recent posts. They're all going to be from 60 or 70 or 80 or 90 days ago. And so you can take a look through these posts and you can see the dates right here and just ask yourself, are any of these posts recent? Because if you have a recent post that got a lot of reach, you're almost certainly not shadow banned. Facebook is showing your content to people, but perhaps that post just didn't get as much engagement as you thought it would have. On the flip side, if all your posts with the most amount of reach are from a really long time ago, like I said, 60, 70, 80, 90 days ago, and your recent posts are all the ones that got very, very little reach, I'm going to scroll down to my bottom of my list right here. If all of these posts were my most recent posts, well, then that starts to raise a little bit of concern. It is possible that you're experiencing a shadow ban, therefore your recent posts aren't getting any reach, whereas your old posts did get a lot of reach. Well, what do you do in that situation? How do you know for sure? I'm going to go back over to my personal Facebook profile. And this time what you want to do is come over here and click on these three dots. And you're going to see a button here that says profile status. Click on that. And when you click on profile status, Facebook is going to show you exactly that. It's just going to show you the status of your profile. If you violated any of Facebook's community guidelines or any of the terms of service for using Facebook, Facebook will tell you about it right here. You can see under account status, how is your account doing? For my personal profile, no restrictions. It says your account looks good. Now, if you do have a restriction, Facebook will list it right here. It'll say that you do have a restriction, and you can click here to follow the steps to have that restriction removed. Remember, Meta told us about this. It said that if you have a restriction, if you have a shadow ban, you're gonna have an opportunity to walk through steps to make things right so that that ban or that restriction is lifted from your account. And what could be an example of something that you've done that would actually create a ban or a restriction? I've actually been through it myself. I was repurposing short form video content by posting it first on YouTube as a YouTube short and then reposting it on Facebook as a reel. And I got a notification in here that said there was a restriction on my account. My reels weren't getting as much reach as they should because they were being repurposed from another platform. That made it very easy to fix the problem so that my content started getting more reach again. And the same will be true for you. Make sure you check out if you have any restrictions here, and if so, follow the steps to remove those restrictions. But what if you've done that? If you've fixed any restrictions and your profile status now says it looks good, but your posts still aren't getting much reach, what can you do now? Well, the next step you could take is to reach out to Metaverified support. And I'm gonna preface this by saying you will only have access to the live chat step that I'm about to show you if you're Metaverified, if your profile is Metaverified. Here's what you can do. So you're gonna wanna do this on your mobile app. On your mobile app, go up here, click on the little hamburger icon right here. That's gonna pull up this screen, and you wanna go down and click on support. Once you've clicked on support, you're gonna see an opportunity here for you to go to the account center. Then once you're in the account center, scroll down and you're looking for this, click on Metaverified, and that will take you over to the benefits that you have as a Metaverified member. And you'll see if you scroll all the way down, it says need help. Click on the get support button right here. That will open up your enhanced support window where you can ask any question and you'll instantly be put into a queue to talk to someone via live chat. Now, my experience in doing this has been really positive. Usually I only have to wait a minute or two before someone comes on live chat. And in this instance, if you feel like you've been shadow banned, what you want to ask your live chat rep is whether or not there are any restrictions on your personal profile that would limit the reach of your posts. You can tell them that you've already looked at your account status and that you've fixed any restrictions that were shown there and that your status now looks good. Is there anything that you're not able to see in your account status that you need to deal with? That will allow your Meta support rep to give you any instructions that you need to follow. Now, those steps that we just discussed are dealing with a shadow ban due to an account restriction, but that's not the only reason why your posts might not be getting as much reach or as much engagement as you'd hope for. It is possible that you're simply creating content that people aren't interested in. You're creating content that the algorithm knows won't be popular, and therefore your posts aren't being seen by very many people. I'm going to show you an example here. Over on this person's profile, just take a look at a couple of posts here. This one says, if your retention strategy is be nice, you don't have a retention strategy. Very few likes, very few engagements. Let's look at the previous post. Who wants the replay of retain and refer workshop? Very few likes, very few comments. So notice both these posts are about retention strategies. Let's look at this one right before it. It says retention isn't about cheerleading. It's about a process that shows clients they're winning. Very few likes, very few comments. So you can see all these posts are the same type of post. They're a text-based post on a colored background. All of them are the same topic. They're all talking about retention. Clearly, there's something about this topic or this type of post that isn't resonating with this person's audience. So it's very likely that if they were to post again, a similar type or topic of post, the algorithm's gonna look at that post and say, we've already tried, we put this out to your audience previously, no one engaged with it, therefore your future posts like this, we're not going to give them any reach. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to help. And so if that's you, if you're honest with yourself and you take a look at your content and you realize you're stuck in a bit of a rut, posting the same types of content that aren't getting engagement, ask yourself, what can you change? There's 3 potential things you can change, and they all start with the letter T. You can either change the type of post that you make. Going back to this example, all of these posts were colored background, text only posts. Maybe this user should try an image post or a short form video post or a long form video or a live. There's many different types of posts that you can try. Try a different type of post. Secondly, change your topic. As we looked at in those 3 examples, all of those posts were about retention. Maybe that's just not a juicy topic. Maybe it's something that people aren't interested in right now. Try a different topic. And then third, try a different time. If you're always posting in the morning, as an example, maybe try posting in the afternoon or the evening. Or if you always post your content on Tuesdays, try posting on a Monday or a Thursday. And then see if breaking that time rhythm that clearly wasn't working for you will allow your posts to get seen by more people when you try a new rhythm. Now, at this point, you might be saying, but Dave, I haven't changed anything about the way that I post and it used to work so well and now it's not working. Well, I want to be very matter of fact with you. If what you're doing right now is what you've always done and it used to work, there's a good likelihood that either the algorithm changed or the taste of your audience changed. Just because something worked 6 months ago or a year ago doesn't mean it's going to work forever. In fact, it almost certainly won't. We have to evolve with the changing tastes of the platform, the algorithm, as well as the changing tastes of users. Let me show you an example here. When I was looking through my Facebook feed, this post came up. It says, if you're not exceptional at your craft, in 12 to 24 months, AI will take your position. So this is a very timely topic that people are interested in. A lot of people are talking about AI. A lot of people are fearful of AI. And as a result, see what happened. We got 46 likes and 60 comments. So this sparked a lot of conversation because it's a popular trending topic. And so what I recommend for you, if your content isn't getting as many views or engagements as you'd like, is to start watching your feed for posts that do get a lot of engagement and ask yourself, what topic are they talking about? What type of posts are they? When were they posted? What time are they being posted? And you can start to identify trends that are clearly working with the algorithm right now, as well as Facebook users right now. And then you can start playing with those practices for your own content. Changing up the type, topic, and time of your content can re-engage the Facebook algorithm and make sure that your posts start getting views and engagements again. And that's exactly what I do. I'm always watching what works on Facebook, but I also have a secret weapon. And that secret weapon is Unipro. Unipro is an amazing tool that goes out onto Facebook. It finds your ideal leads. It brings those leads over into your audience. It makes sure that your leads see your content. It engages those leads, and then it strikes up conversations with them, helping you make an offer for those leads to buy from you at the time they're most likely interested to do so. Unipro has been a game changer for my business. I know it will be for you as well. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go over to unipro.com. That's what I've got for you this video all about shadow bans. If this video was helpful, give it a like. And if you have any questions about shadow bans, how they work, misconceptions, leave those in the comments below. I'm happy to help out. And again, if you're growing your online business and you're using Facebook to do so, you got to check out Unipro. Go over to unipro.com. It's really going to help you grow your business a whole lot faster. Thanks for checking out this video. Can't wait to see you in the next video.